This morning for science, we're going to start by looking at our essential question that we're going to be focusing on over the next few days. We're going to do our vocabulary, and then we're going to actually start to compare weather in two different cities. And we're going to see how, at the same exact time of year, what weather can be like in two different places. So our essential question this time around is, how do climates vary in different regions of the world? So we're not just focusing on the weather, but we're really going to be looking at the climate and learning what that means a little bit. So when we get into the vocabulary words in a second, that'll be a little more clear. But how do climates vary in different regions of the world? That's going to be our new essential question. Turn and read it to your neighbor.
How do climates vary in different regions of the world?
Fabulous. If we roll on, we're going to skip straight to vocabulary, so it's a few away. We only really have three main vocabulary questions that we're going to focus on this time around. The first one is climate, which is important because if we're going to be learning about climates around the world, we need to know what the climate is.
Yeah.
Climate is going to be the pattern of weather at a certain place over a long period of time. So the big difference there to think about is weather is what's happening in the moment. It's what's happening that day. It's what's happening really soon there. And when we get to that climate piece, it's going to be that period over a long period of time. So we're not just saying, oh no, it's really cold today. Can you have just random really cold days? Yeah, you sure can. But the climate is going to be that basically what the temperature is, what the weather patterns are like over a longer period of time. So is winter a long period of time?
No.
I mean, it's a lot longer than a day, right? Do we have a basic pattern of weather through the winter months? Yeah, we know it's going to be a lot wet.
Snowy.
It might be snowy, it might be colder. When we get to summer, it's a longer period of time. Do we know what the weather is typically like where we live in the summer?
Yeah.
What is it? It gets hot, it gets humid, right? So that's going to be with that climate. It's going to be that long, over the long period of time. We're also going to be looking at axis, and axis is something that we talked about when we did our first social studies unit as well, but the axis is going to be a line through the center of a spinning object. So not the first time we've talked about it, but we've talked about the axis of the Earth and how our Earth doesn't sit like this, it is tilted. So that axis going straight through the Earth and how it's tilted slightly. And then season is going to be our final one, and it's the time of year with different weather patterns. So we're looking at a season, we just mentioned, you're going to have different weather patterns in different seasons, but also important to know that in different places, they're going to experience different weather patterns during that time as well. So just that introduction to what we're going to be looking at. Today we'll have a little bit of reading that goes with this too. Sound good? Perfect. We are going to need out our student activity books today for science. And when we get them open, we're going to open up to page 109. What page? 109. Perfect. Let's go ahead and get them out and go to page 109.